flash flood disaster. Havza, Samsun Province, Turkey. At around 1800 on May 12, 2026, residents in the northern Turkish town of Havza just like any other day, but within the next 10 minutes, everything disappeared. The Hacı Osman Creek overflowed. The Tersakan stream surged violently at nearly the same moment, and muddy floodwater exploded into central Havza with terrifying speed. Cars were swept away like toys. Shops disappeared underwater. Residents screamed from windows as streets transformed into violent rivers. One young man became trapped on top of a floating vehicle. An 83-year-old resident reportedly survived only by clinging to metal structures attached to a building while floodwater rushed around him. And perhaps the most terrifying part was not only the flood itself, but the speed at which ordinary life disappeared, because many people still imagine floods as slow disasters. But modern urban flash floods no longer always arrive slowly. Sometimes they arrive like an ambush from nature itself. And tonight on Natural Destruction, we revisit how a Black Sea storm submerged parts of Havza within minutes while reflecting on something many older people around the world have quietly said for years. The weather never used to feel like this. Welcome back to Natural Destruction. This channel is not only about documenting disasters, it is also about documenting how people feel while watching the world change. And personally, I think that is why stories like Havza emotionally affect so many people, especially older generations, because for many viewers tonight, disasters are not only about destruction, they are also about memory. Memories of calmer winters, gentler rainstorms, rivers that once felt peaceful instead of frightening. Many older Americans often say they remember a very different world decades ago. Rain once sounded comforting. Storms once arrived more slowly. Seasons once felt more predictable. Small towns once felt safer. And whether those memories come from rural America, Europe, Asia, or anywhere else, disasters like Havza create a very strange feeling. A feeling that the world people once knew is changing too quickly. Earlier, on May 12, 2026, Turkish meteorological authorities issued a yellow weather warning for Samsun Province and nearby areas due to the risk of localized heavy rainfall and thunderstorms. But like in many places around the world, the warning initially did not alarm most residents. Heavy rain is not unusual in the Black Sea region. And honestly, that may be one of the most dangerous realities of modern disasters. People slowly become used to warnings. Rain becomes background noise. Weather alerts become routine. Life continues normally. Around 1800, weather conditions over Havza rapidly deteriorated. Heavy rainfall intensified with terrifying speed. The sky became darker. Winds began strengthening. Many residents later said they felt something unusual, but nobody imagined the town would soon disappear underwater within minutes. Then came the defining moment. Both the Hacı Osman Creek and the Tersakan stream overflowed almost simultaneously. Water rushed violently downhill into the town center, and within approximately 10 minutes, according to local officials, much of central Havza was underwater. 10 minutes. Less time than a television weather report. Less time than making a pot of tea. Less time than many older people spend quietly watching rain from the porch. But in Havza, those same 10 minutes became the dividing line between ordinary life and survival. As floodwater surged into the town center, panic spread rapidly. First, the roads disappeared. Then, intersections vanished underwater. Then, vehicles began floating and being swept away. Witnesses described hearing violent crashing sounds as debris
Ercan arabayı itekle. Araba buraya girecek şimdi. Bahçeye girecek. Elinle itekle, ileri doğru itekle arabayı. Arabayı itekle. Araba girdi bahçeye la. İtekle itekle.
Vehicles and large objects slammed through the streets. Some vehicles flipped upside down. Others smashed into roadside businesses. Several were later buried beneath thick mud after the water receded. In some locations, water reportedly rose close to the second floor of buildings. Ground floors and basements of hundreds of homes were completely submerged. Small businesses were destroyed within minutes. Even sidewalk paving stones were ripped out by the force of the floodwater. And honestly, scenes like these emotionally affect older generations very deeply. Many of them grew up during a time when towns felt more stable, more permanent, more predictable. A time when people believed streets, seasons, and communities would remain mostly unchanged forever. But modern disasters are slowly destroying that sense of stability. Within minutes, an entire familiar place can become unrecognizable. And while watching stories like these together on natural destruction, many viewers often share memories of storms they experienced decades ago in their own hometowns. Some remember hurricanes from the 1960s. Others remember floods, blizzards, or tornadoes from childhood. But for the people of Havza that night, things were about to become even worse. If there is one word that defines Havza, it is speed. Not size, not rainfall totals, speed. The flood moved faster than traffic, public awareness, emergency response, and in many places, faster than evacuation itself. And personally, I think this may become one of the defining dangers of the modern climate era. 10-minute disasters. Events that develop so quickly that people barely have time to emotionally process what is happening before chaos takes over everything. In the past, many floods developed slowly enough for preparation, but modern urban flash floods behave differently. Cities covered in concrete and asphalt now force water through streets at dangerous speeds. Drainage systems become overwhelmed almost immediately. Roads become rivers, and once infrastructure begins collapsing, panic spreads rapidly. According to reports, 12 people were injured, 3,297 homes were flooded, 519 businesses were affected, and 46 public buildings were damaged. On May 12, 2026, Havza had approximately 10 minutes before chaos overwhelmed the town center, and for many residents, even those 10 minutes were not enough. Perhaps that is the final lesson tonight. Not to live in fear, but to appreciate ordinary days while they still feel ordinary. Because sometimes, life changes faster than anyone expects. Thank you for spending part of your evening with natural destruction. And tonight, we genuinely want to hear your story. Do you feel weather today is different from when you were younger? What weather memories from childhood still stay with you today? Please share your memories in the comments below, because many people around the world may also feel that the world has changed, and they may need to know they are not alone. Stay safe, stay peaceful, and we will see you again in the next episode of Natural Destruction.